When Congress defunded public media, thousands of you stepped up, increasing your monthly gift to help us survive year one without federal funding. We made it, but that loss isn't going away. So if you haven't increased your monthly contribution yet, now's the time. And if you're not a sustaining member, join us. A monthly gift to Boise State Public Radio gives us the steady, reliable support we need for year two and beyond. Choose the support tab at boisestatepublicradio.org.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Gaudette. Once again, temperatures in the Treasure Valley are set to hit triple digits, and for some, it's an excuse to turn up the AC, but for those experiencing homelessness, extreme heat can quickly turn into a serious issue. Daytime shelter Corpus Commons provides a safe place for people to get out of the sun and cool down, but as summer temperatures continue to rise, so does the risk for medical emergencies. So joining us now to talk more about this issue is Jessica Abbott, Executive Director of Corpus Commons. Jessica, nice to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Gemma.
So Jessica, for folks who may not be familiar, can you tell us a little bit about what Corpus Commons is and what role does it play for folks who are experiencing homelessness in Boise?
Yeah, so Corpus Commons is Idaho's only daytime shelter for the community. So anybody experiencing financial hardship, a place to go to feel safe, experiencing homelessness, they're able to go there and have breakfast, have lunch, have access to computers, resources, physical mailing address, just so many things to help move you forward when you're facing this crisis. And right now with the heat, that can mean a life or death situation.
And how does extreme heat impact people, who may be spending the majority of their day outside?
Yeah, so if you think about it in terms of you are outside right now, our overnight shelters have huge wait lists. So experiencing homelessness right now is very dangerous. There's not a safe place to be. And when we're experiencing triple digits, that means you are packing all of those things around every belonging you own. You're usually in layers of clothing. You're not in AC controlled area. You are not getting access to water, just all those perfect storm types of things that we may take for granted. When we start feeling like we're going to overheat, we're going to, take off those layers. We're going to find AC. We're going to hit the pool. We're going to hydrate. And our vulnerable population in Boise doesn't have that. And so what Corpus does is try to come in and be a place, at least during the day, where we can keep people cooled off and respond to any medical emergency that may be happening, which we've seen an uptick in already this year. So having that cooler place to sleep, to have the misters to make sure they're hydrated, and for staff to just really keep an eye on our guests.
So as you said, you're already seeing some health issues. What kind of health issues are you seeing in a heat like this?
We are seeing people experiencing heat stroke. We have a lot of our guests are medically fragile or elderly. So when we have situations where people may experience seizures more frequently, you're elderly and can't regulate your body as well. Those are situations we're having to respond to already. It means somebody is going down. We are having to call EMS to come in and help us due to dehydration, due to heat stroke. And so, this is a time of year that gets scary for us.
So how has demand for daytime shelter services changed this summer compared to previous years?
It's changed in that there's been kind of this perfect storm of things that have happened, especially being the only daytime shelter. We have three things that have happened. Our overnight shelters are at capacity. And so people wanting to wait for a bed, that's just not possible now. And then we have the recent Galloway law that went into effect last July 1st, and we saw a huge uptick. And with that law being enforced, that means that our guests are being pushed and scattered a lot further and in different places where they were maybe not before. So really away from some of the service areas and the resource areas. And So that means where we could kind of go out and get ahead of it a little bit before, we could go out on the streets, do outreach, check on people, see if they're hydrated. That is much harder for us to do now. So by the time people get to us, sometimes they're already in trouble. And that's just made it a lot more reactive rather than proactive with trying to help our vulnerable community members.
So, what are you hearing from people experiencing homelessness right now about how our new camping laws have impacted them?
Mhm.
And I have about just 2 minutes left with you.
Okay. What I'm hearing from our guests is that they feel targeted, they feel unwelcome, and I think marginalizing a whole community based on becoming homeless. We know in Boise right now we've had this huge growth, and we know wages are stagnant. We know housing costs are extreme, and also know that domestic violence is still the number one cause for homelessness. So when you look at those statistics, when you look at last year, every 8 out of 10 people that experienced homelessness did so for the first time, and then you put a camping ban that is going to push you away from the resources, it just there's no solutions there. That is not the way we treat our community experiencing a crisis. We should be looking at better solutions than the one that's out here with this law right now.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us today. We've been speaking with Jessica Abbott. She was the executive director of Corpus Commons about how extreme heat is impacting people experiencing homelessness in the Treasure Valley. Corpus Commons is the only daytime shelter available for people who are unhoused. You've been listening to the Idaho Matters podcast from Boise State Public Radio. To stay in touch, you can find quick Idaho daily news every morning when you subscribe to the Connector podcast. Are you subscribed to this Idaho Matters podcast yet? Make sure you're following so you never miss an episode.
Each story you hear on Planet Money starts with a question. What happens if we refund tariffs? Why are groceries so expensive? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious because the forces shaping our world can be hard to see. Follow NPR's Planet Money wherever you get your podcasts and start seeing how the economy really works.